Hello, my crafty goblins and ghouls. I hope you're having a bootastic day. Welcome to day 12 of our 13 Days of Halloween series hosted by Rosa Kelly Scrapbooking, Michelle Randolph from Shabby Chic Chick, and yours truly, Robyn Pitts with Sir Chauncey Rocco Creative Designs. I am super excited to share this project with you. I created this Scaredy cat lantern and treat basket using a digital file from Dreaming Tree, which is 3dsvg.com. This project was so much fun and very easy to make. This project is quite sizable. It measures 10 inches from the top to the bottom, 9 inches from side to side, and it has a 4-inch depth. So what I love about this the most is the vintage feel of it. And I've been dying to do a vintage Scaredy cat lantern, so I'm so glad that I was able to fit it in this series. On the front, I've got this black glitter paper for the face. It has this plum border, and I have two different color vellums, one in a gold and then green for the eyes. It's got this cute little red glitter tongue, and I love this large bow here. I finished it off with a black faceted gemstone. On the side, we have this fun orange and spiderweb paper. On the back, we have this black glitter. Now, with this file, you have the option of creating the Scaredy cat on both sides. To keep it simple, I've only created this cat on the front and had a nice clean back. On the top here, I've used a black 12 gauge wire that I purchased from Michael's in the jewelry section to create the handle. And then I finished it off with this black glittered bat that has purple vellum on the wings and then gold yellow for the face and the mouth. I just think that this is such a fun project. And as I said, it's a very easy project to put together, although it does look quite complex. Inside the box, you can fill it with a gift or candy when you're trick-or-treating. I have LED lights inside because I plan to use it as a lantern. Let me turn off the light so you can see what this looks like when it's dark. This is what it looks like when the lights are turned down, and I think it looks so spooky, just perfect for a Halloween night. Now that I've reviewed this project with you in detail, let's gather our materials so that we can make it together. I'll be right back. I've gathered all of the materials to make our Scaredy cat lantern. I'm using a digital file by Dreaming Tree, which is 3dsvg.com, and when you download your file, you will receive a menu that tells you all of the supplies that you need, as well as the individual items in the cut files. I am using a stack by DCWV called Halloween Night, which came out last year. In front of you, I have all of the pieces for this file. We've got our purple decorative element, and to save time, I've already gone ahead and glued on the vellum pieces. We have the front and back glitter pieces. We have the base of the bag, which is cut out in black cardstock. These are the side panels. These are the decorative elements that will go on the side panel. We have this little glittered bat, and similar to the cat face, I've gone ahead and glued in the vellum. As you can see, there's a piece of yellow and purple vellum, and this has got glitter on the front and the back. And we have a bow tie. I'm going to clear off some of the items so that we can focus on making the front of the cat. As I mentioned, I've gone ahead and glued the vellum on to the purple layer of this cat. This purple piece will stick out and be more of a shadow for this black glitter. Now, there are two different pieces of vellum. I have a large yellow piece for the face, and then I have a lighter green vellum that I cut out for the eyes. What we're going to do is glue the top of our cat on like so, and you'll see the pretty purple sticking through. Now, before you glue this down, I do want to point out a few things. There's going to be a nice border around. However, on the bottom, there's not going to be a border. So when you glue this down, you want to make sure that the edge of the black glitter piece is flushed right against the edge of the purple piece. There's no border here. However, there should be an even border all around. Okay, so let's take this off, and we're going to start gluing down the black glitter piece. Now, because this is a thicker glitter cardstock and it has a coating on the back, you do want to give this an ample amount of glue on the back of it, especially around the eyes and the mouth. Okay, so I'm going to lift this up And it's probably best to stand when you're doing this. I'm going to line this up right against the bottom, making sure those edges line up, and then gently press down. Want to make sure you get all of these edges glued down. Now what you want to do is hold this up to the light to make sure that we haven't covered up any of the pieces that the vellum is showing through. And this looks pretty good. Let's put this aside and then we'll start working on the base of our lantern. I've gathered the pieces to make the base of our bag. So you'll have these two side pieces. You'll have decorative paper. We're going to have a piece that goes here and right here, and it's lined up with a little circle there. These pieces will go on the bottom just like so. And then you have the front and the back panel. So to save time, I've already gone ahead and folded along the score lines. Let's begin gluing down these panels. And you want to line these decorative pieces right up along the circle, and there should be just a little border all around. And you're going to do that for both sides. I've gone ahead and glued on the decorative panels, and if I didn't mention before, I am using my handy dandy art glitter glue. Please be sure to check the description box to see how you can receive a 10% discount off of any purchase at artglitter.com. We are now ready to start assembling this. Before we glue the bag together, I want to add in the rest of the decorative elements for our cat. I've cut out this red glitter. This is going to be the tongue. That's going to go right here. You'll notice that it fits in perfectly. And then I have these little tiny pieces, which are the teeth, and that's going to be glued down like so. Okay, so let's glue that down. Now, because I'm gluing on glitter, you're going to have to use a little bit more glue than you normally would. I'm going to stick this right here, and then we're going to glue down the teeth. All of our decorative pieces are attached. Let's start making the base of the bag. I've gathered the panels to make our bag. One thing I did want to point out is that I took my black soot ink and distressed the sides of these panels. I wanted to take the brightness down a little bit and give it a little bit more of a worn look. To organize a bag, we're going to take this piece, and you'll notice that right here in this corner, there's a very, very sharp edge. Okay, we want to line this sharp edge right here in the corner, right where this piece folds. And you'll notice that the rest of the pieces will fall into place naturally. Okay, so let's go ahead and add glue to this side piece here. And then I'm going to glue this piece, this corner right here. Make sure it lines up right next to that score line. Next, you want to glue this panel down exactly the same way that you did here. So let's go ahead and put some glue on it. Align this right here where this area bends. Now I'm going to grab my back panel. So I'm going to take this plain back and I'm going to glue it to this back piece right here. So again, just like we did for this piece here, we're going to take this piece and line it up right at that score mark here. Okay, let's put some glue on this tab here. Okay, glue this right down like so. Now that we have all of our panels glued together, let's turn this over. And we need to glue these panels to this back piece here. So I'm going to flip this over. And we want this to be glued together just like so. Okay, so this is lining up pretty perfectly. Let's go ahead and add the glue on these large tabs here. Don't worry about this lower tab here yet. Okay, and then I'm going to lay this right on top of it, and it should be a perfect fit. Just take your bone folder and burnish. Now we want to start gluing down the bottom. So you'll have 4 tabs, okay, and they will get glued in just like so. We're going to do that for all 4 sides. You want to have this perfectly aligned against the score line. Okay, I'm going to flip this over and do this side first. I want to do the opposite sides because I think it gives the bag more stability as you're gluing. Just bend this piece in just like so, right up to the score line. Okay, I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to do this side right here. And glue that piece right along the score line. As you can see, this is coming together very quickly. The thing that takes the longest is cutting out the individual pieces. Now we're going to glue this last tab here. Okay, and I'll glue this into place. And just take your fingers or your bone folder and burnish along those tabs that you've just glued down to make sure that there's a nice strong adhesion. Now that we have the sides glued in, we want to glue the base of the bag down. And there are two pieces that look like this. They're squares. And we're just going to take one and glue it down just like so. So rather than glue all of the pieces down at once, I'm just going to start at one tab here on the top and get that anchored in. And then it'll make it easier to glue down the rest of the other tabs. I want to make sure this is aligned right at the top, right to the score line. You want to flip this over. Take your bone folder and just make sure there's a good strong adhesion there. And then you want to turn this over and put glue on the rest of these three sides. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this piece down and line it up right to the score mark so there's a nice, clean, smooth base. All right, let's flip this over. Take your bone folder and just burnish those tabs a bit. So just go ahead and put an ample amount of glue on the bottom, and then I'm just going to drop this in here. Now that the liner and the base are glued in, let's go ahead and put the decorative panel on. So this is going to go just like so. You want to make sure the bottom of this glitter piece is lined up with the bottom of the bag. Take this off and we're going to put glue on this piece here, not here. So you want to make sure you get an ample amount of glue all around the perimeter, definitely at the edge, because you don't want this piece coming up, and then around these detailed pieces here. So let's add this on carefully. Again, you want to line this piece up with the bottom of the box. You want to make sure that there's no obstruction of any of the vellum pieces. Okay, we're going to press that down gently. When you run your finger along the bottom of the bag and on the sides, it's evenly lined up. There's no pieces that are jutting out. So just use your hand and carefully put firm pressure on all of the pieces, especially the small detailed pieces. And then you want to take your bone folder and run along the edge of the bag to make sure those pieces are burnished in well. And then we're going to glue down the decorative piece on the back. Okay, and I'm going to line this up right at the bottom and on the sides. I'm going to turn this on the inside and use my bone folder to make sure everything is glued in nice and securely. Now that we have our panels glued on, you can see that we have a very sizable box. So what we want to do is prepare the handles. I'm using this black wire. This is by Bead Landing. I purchased it at Michael's. It's a 12 gauge wire. So I just gathered an ample piece. Before we attach the wire, we need to put the decorative elements on the side here. And you've got these two purple pieces. They're going to be glued down right here over the circles. And this piece not only serves as a decorative element, but also it reinforces this little area so that it protects the paper when you put your wire down. Okay, let's do that to the other side. Okay, line these circles up just like so. Okay, so let's grab your wire, and I have this piece slightly bent. I'm just going to put it right through this hole and then bend it up so that it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. Just mold it into the desired position, and this is the way that it'll look. So you've got a nice sturdy handle. And then we have this little bat. This bat is going to be glued right here. The reason they gave you two pieces is so that you could glue the wire in the center of this bat so that it would be just like so. The problem is this wire is too thick and I don't think it would look very good. So I'm just going to use some hot glue and attach it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue here. I just put a little bit of the hot glue here and I'm attaching it just like so. Okay, so now we need to add the little bow here. We're almost finished. So you want to grab these 3 pieces. I've gone ahead and inked the bow. Take your bone folder and add some curve to it. You'll notice that there are tabs here on either side. You want to put glue and you want to glue it right up to these 2 score marks here. So there's one here and there's one here. That tells you exactly where to place the bow. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to glue this right at the first score mark and let that set for a second. Okay, and let's do that to the other side. Right up to this second score mark here. And then you want to take this piece and you're going to fold it back like so. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here to anchor it down to the bow. And then another piece right here. So you have your tabs glued together. You want to take this piece and you'll notice that there's a flat edge here and a flat edge here. You want to make sure that those pieces are facing down, and then you want to attach the bow right in the center. So I'm actually going to use a little bit of hot glue. I'm going to put a little dab right there and get this lined up right in the center. Okay, and then I'm going to glue it onto my kitty. You want to make sure that when you place the bow on, it's not rubbing against the table because you don't want to damage the bow. So if you put it up just a little bit, just like so, you see there's a little bit of space there. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on this since we are gluing it onto glitter. And I'm just going to line this up right where I want it. And I may go back and add in a little black gemstone just to finish off the bow. This concludes my review of my Scaredy Cat Lantern treat basket. I absolutely love the way it turned out. I love the vintage feel of this. And after you finish trick-or-treating, you can put in fun, spooky lights and have a wonderful Halloween evening. I'm going to turn down the light so you can see what it looks like. Ooh, that looks so spooky. I love the way this looks. I think this by far is my favorite Halloween project that I've done over the past 13 days. Hopefully I've inspired you with some fun and creative ideas. If you like this video, please take a moment to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little bell so that you will always be notified when I upload a new video. Please be sure to join us tomorrow for our final day of the 13 Days of Halloween series. Hopefully you've had just as much fun watching these videos as we've had creating the projects for you. Also, don't forget to visit my friends Rosa Kelly Scrapbooking and Michelle Randolph from Shabby Chic Chick to see their spooky projects. Thanks again for joining me. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now, and happy crafting.